Hey YouTube, T. Holtz here. We're taking a look at my goldfish tank here tonight. I filmed a video of this tank not too long ago, but something interesting has happened in here which I've really never seen before happen to any fish that I've ever had. This is a 75-gallon tank. Amazon sword plants I have growing in glass containers, and just a ton of water sprite there at the top. Just grows enormously quick in here. I pull it out, bucket loads of it. I pull it out and it grows right back very quickly. But what I wanted to show is, see if I can, well, it's going to be hard to tell. The fish aren't going to cooperate. Here, this fish right here in the center of the screen right here. If we can look at him. Right in the center, we're following him. I brought him home from a good fish store that we have here. It's been about 3 weeks, I guess. And I brought him home. He looked really good in the store. I put him in this tank, and within a few hours he was lethargic. Wasn't swimming around very much, hanging at the top of the water column, just kind of laying still. So I kept an eye on him. Oh, these goldfish are dirty. Look at all the dirt that goldfish make. There's only 5 goldfish in here, but they make a mess in the tank. But that's not what this video is about. It's about this fish right here. Brought him home, and like I said, within a few hours he was lethargic. A few hours later, he was just laying on the side at the top of the tank, just laying motionless on his side. So, anytime I've ever seen a fish just lay motionless on his side like that, that usually isn't a good sign, of course. So, I took him out of the tank and I put him in a little container of water, not expecting him to live very long. I put an air stone in it just to circulate the water a little bit. And it was the same day that I bought him, and the next day he just laid in that container of water all day on his side. It was only maybe a half a gallon of water, because I didn't expect him to live, but he just laid there on his side the whole day. The only way I knew he was alive is I would go in and check on him and poke him a little bit with my finger, and then he would maybe wiggle a little bit, or a fin would move. But that was it, and that lasted an entire day. The next day after I got him. So later on that night, it was about midnight probably, my wife comes in here and looks at him and she says, "Hey, your fish is swimming." And I said, "What?" And I came in and looked at him, and he was in this little half a gallon of water, and sure enough, he was upright and swimming as much as he could in a little half gallon plastic container of water. So it was late at night, so I decided, well, I'm going to put him in a bigger container. I grabbed another container out of the kitchen. Maybe it held a gallon of water instead of a half gallon. Put him in there with the air stone going, and figure, well, we'll see what happens the next day. So the next day, he was just swimming around in there normally. And so I decided, well, I'm going to put him in a 20-gallon tank that I had sitting in my storage shed that I wasn't using, kind of put him in like a quarantine situation. I didn't want to put him back in the tank even though he was upright and moving around, because I figured, well, I don't know what he has. Is he going to transfer it to the other fish? So I put him in this 20-gallon quarantine tank. I filled it up like 2/3 with water, put a little filter in there, and treated him with General Cure. Not that I know that that's what he needed, but I put the General Cure in there anyway. Left him in there 2 weeks. He was swimming around normally. Didn't eat much from the beginning, but after a while he was eating normally. Checked the color of his poop, and that was normal. And after 2 weeks in that tank, I put him in here, and he's perfectly fine. I've never seen a fish react like that before, where he'd be laying on his side. I mean, there was no question in my mind that this fish was going to die, the way he was acting, just laying motionless for a full day. There was no question he was going to die. And for some reason, all of a sudden, he was upright, swimming, and here he is. So something I've never seen happen before. I don't know the explanation for it. But obviously, as you can see, he's swimming around with the other fish, eats normally, and seems to be perfectly healthy. So sometimes you never know. That's really the only time I've ever seen that happen. But you never know what could happen. So I'm going to decide that he's perfectly okay after he's been in here about 4 or 5 days and acting perfectly normal. These are common goldfish. Most of them, these three I haven't had very long. I did have a die-off in this tank inexplicably. If you've seen one of my previous videos, I had 6 fish in here. 5 of them died within a couple days, all except for that white one there that's in the back. He's the only one of the 6 that lived. I waited a little while, bought more fish, and they all seemed to be okay. That was a couple of months ago now that happened. Also have dojo loaches in here. This tank gets a weekly almost 50% water change. Goldfish are dirty, even though there's only 6 of them in here now. There's a lot of dirt on the bottom of this tank. I vacuum up the gravel real good. And the plants, all these plants that are growing, should be, if you can see the top here, all these plants that are growing should be taking up the nitrates and stuff that are building up in here. But I do the large weekly water change anyway. Tank is filtered by a Sun 304B canister filter. Love these dojo loaches. There's 6 of them in here. Very active, unique looking fish. I don't know of too many other fish in the aquarium hobby that look like these. Perfect companion for goldfish because they're subtropical, not a warm water fish. So that is the story of my 75-gallon goldfish tank. Here is the fish in question again that I had given up for dead. No idea what happened to him, what caused him to be the way he was. pH shock maybe could have been. You know, I don't know. But he's fine right now. Alright, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, this is my 75-gallon goldfish tank. Thanks for watching.